Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. In today's video, I want to go over one of the hardest dungeons in the game. That's going to be Sand Devil's Necropolis. I'm going to show you guys a super endgame team that I use myself. It's a very fast team, but it does include a lot of legendaries. And I'm going to give you guys an alternative to basically the same team. I'm going to explain how it works, what gear and stats you need to make it work, and hopefully you guys can speed farm a Sand Devil 25 because it's super important now, especially with the powder and dust dropping from Shogun 25 and Sand Devil 25. So hopefully this team helps you. Let's jump right into it. Alright guys, so first I'm going to show you guys the team that I use. So this is the team that I use. It's super endgame. We got 2 Void Legendaries, we got 2 Nut and a reset Kaimar in there. The way this interaction works with the Sand Devil is Sifi will sleep the Sand Devil, and then you can place your debuffs, and then the Sand Devil will wake up. So that is the timing of everything. You want the Sand Devil to wake up, and then your max HP hits can go in, so your nut goes in, and then your Kaimar will reset right after, and then in the same turn before the Sand Devil gets another turn, Sifi will use her turn meter boost, which will boost the 2 nuts faster than the Sand Devil. So then the 2 nuts will be taking 2 turns before the Sand Devil wakes up. So that's kind of how this team works, and that's kind of how we can clear this boss. I'm going to say that right now that this team that I'm going to show you guys, even though it has 2 nuts, I will find some replacements for the Void Legendaries for you guys, and it works perfectly. But first, I'll jump into how this team works. Okay, I just realized that because I re-geared some champions that this exact team won't work, but here's the video for it working so you guys can see how it actually works. So like I said, first Sifi sleeps and then the debuffs get placed. Sand Devil will wake up and then take the max HP hits. Kaimar will do the refreshing. We had a relentless proc there, doesn't matter. Sifi does the turn meter boost, and then the max HP hitters get the extra hits in. So that's how this team works in a nutshell. So I'm going to show you guys the more accessible budget version of this team. Works flawlessly, and I'll show you guys exactly what you guys need. All right, so this is the budget version of that team. You don't need Riho, you don't need Sifi. The problem with this team, obviously, is that you do need the 2 nuts. You do need a Kaimar to reset the max HP hits. So obviously, there's going to be some restrictions here with how you can build your team. However, Nut was a fusion, and then Nut was also a targeted event for like Prism Shards and also like progressive events. So hopefully you guys, for the lucky people that have 2 of them, this team might work out for you. I'm replacing 2 Void Legendaries with 2 Epic Champions. One of them doesn't even need to be fully booked, doesn't need to be ascended, doesn't need to be leveled up or anything like that. So 0 investment in these Epics if you so choose. Same thing with Ruella. I do have a 60 Ruella, but you don't need a 60 Ruella. Kaimar doesn't need to be 60 as well, but he needs to be in this team. So let's jump into the team setup here. So team setup, I have the first nut, 237. Everything else is irrelevant. Give him as much damage as possible. So crit damage, defense. Ideally is lethal gear, but you work with what you got. There is some room for not capping each hit, because basically with 2 nuts attacking, there's 12 hits, so you're overkilling by 20% if you were to cap every hit. So you don't necessarily need to cap, there's some room for error. So the second nut is 255. I found these speed ranges to be somewhat a little bit loose. 237, 238, 239 works. 255 I think, and a slightly lower can work. Not sure about higher. But for sure these 2 speeds will work. Same idea, crit damage, max crit damage and defense. Ruella here, she has to be at least 270 speed. So the key stat here is at least 270 speed, 271, and then obviously accuracy, you need 525 to have like, I believe 95 or 96% chance to land your debuffs. And that's it. Every other stat is irrelevant. You want to open with the A2. Kymar needs to be slower than the last champion in line. I got him at 227. You could go all the way up to your last max HP hitter. Every other stat's irrelevant for Kymar. He's just there to do the seal magic, and then that's it. And then the other one, basically the Sifi replacement, is Cornelia, sorry. But she's a great epic. Basically, her main role here is to place the sleep on the Sand Devil. So it's a place, it's not a hit. She has magic affinity, which is weak affinity to the Sand Devil's force affinity. However, since it's a place, she's not actually hitting the Sand Devil, so she will always put it on. But of course, it's not the same as Sifi, where Sifi can it's irresistible. So Cornelia can be resisted on this move, and then you will fail your run. But that's the way it goes. Ascension, you don't need to ascend her because you don't care about this passive effect. You don't need to fully book her out. You only need 3 books into the debuff chance. I put 1 extra book for whatever reason, but you only need 3 books for a debuff chance, and that's it. You don't need her to use this move, and you don't need her to be 60. You don't need her to do anything, just as long as you can hit the stats. So you need accuracy. So 525 accuracy, ideal. And you need her to be faster than Ruella. So Cornelia goes first, and then Ruella. And then your 2 nuts need to be somewhat in this range. 255, 237, somewhere around there. Okay, so keep your 2 nuts in that range. So they could be like both 245, for example, and then Kymar has to be slower than your last nut. All right, so let's jump into the run. There are a couple things to look out for, and I'll try to go over them in the run here. So it's on 1 time speed, so I'll try to explain this to you guys. So Cornelia does the sleep, landing the debuffs here. So weaken, defense down, and the slow. Sand Devil wakes up, you get the max HP slams in. So 1 slam, 2 slams. So it's the same idea as the Riho and Sifi team, right? The reset comes in. She does her whatever move, and then Ruella does a turn meter boost similar to Sifi. This gives your DPS another shot at the max HP slam. So you see here we got it pretty close. 29 seconds on 1 time speed. Works perfectly. Perfectly, guys. Perfectly. Basically the same team as the Riho and the Sifi team. However, there are a couple things that we need to talk about here. It's not going to be as good as that Sifi Riho team because Sifi's sleep is irresistible. Cornelia can be resisted on her sleep. So instantly you will have to face a 3% chance of being resisted and then lose the run right away. Also, Ruella places decrease defense, weaken, and the speed down. If she loses speed down, this run will break. If she loses decreased defense, the run will break. If she loses weaken, depending how strong your nuts are, that's why you should give more damage to your nuts, but depending how strong your nuts are, if she loses weaken, you may or may not succeed. So Ruella, and it's going to happen, right? This team is not a 100% team because there are obviously chances to get resisted. Let's play this at full speed, and you guys can see it's a very good run once it works. I would say at least 90, low 90%, success rate. And it works as long as they don't get resisted. You got a 17-second run here. So I know it's a hard ask to ask for Kymar and 2 nuts, but we're talking, super endgame dungeon, super hard dungeon, and you're doing it in 17 seconds. So with that being said, Relentless is usable for your nut, not ideal, but it's usable. So you don't have to switch gear around if you already have them in Relentless, for example. And yeah, ideally you want them to do as much damage as possible, so cap them out. But yeah, so I'll go over the gear here. Hopefully you guys got the presets and stuff going on, but I'll go over the gear here real quick. Here's my Kymar. I had to basically dumb him down to make this work. My Kymar was too fast because I ran a slightly different team. But 227 on the Kymar. Oops, sorry. 27 on the Kymar. Like I said, he just needs to be slower than your slowest DPS. Yeah, this is my one nut. So he's in lethal. This is my second one. He is in relentless. I took the banner off to slow him down so that we could make this team work. But usually I have him much faster. In terms of masteries, Kymar doesn't need any masteries for this dungeon. Nut, Giant Slayer. This is what you want for your nut. You want to go down Giant Slayer, just like kind of general masteries. Same thing with this one. Ruella, you don't need any masteries. You want her fully booked. Debuff chance here, of course. And then this one, you don't need to book this one because she's only going to use it once. But this one you need to book. So you're likely probably going to have to book it out. It takes quite a bit of books, but she's actually a pretty good champion. So you probably end up using her in other areas too. I use her in... I think I did use her in Shogun. I don't use her anymore, but I did use her in Shogun. But yeah, she's a good champ. Good champ. Yeah, you can check out the gear here. I mean, I have some good gear on these champions just to hit the stats. But yeah. And then Cornelia, like she has really good gear to hit these stats with, she's level, you know, she's a 4-star with like level 29. So she doesn't have a banner. I don't have an amulet on her. She has no masteries. She only has books in the debuff chance. That's all you care about. She doesn't need to be ascended. But yeah, I have good gear on her to hit the stats needed. So triple accuracy and speed, double accuracy speed, triple speed accuracy, triple speed. Like, yeah, I got some ascended accuracy speed and then speed ascended speed with accuracy. So some good gear on her to make it work. But if you need the extra stats, then you're going to go open up the banner slot and then, you know, give her the banner there. But yeah. So anyways, hopefully this gives you guys at least some options. I know, like I said, you need a reset and you need 2 nuts, but if you were missing Riho or Sifi, you would have been in a pretty, you know, sad spot, especially with these pieces, and then you weren't able to put this team together. Like I said, this team is not as good as the Riho Sifi team because there are points where it can get resisted and you might lose. Also, Riho does have an HP burn on her, she does have an HP burn on her debuff move, which helps with adding a bit of extra damage. Yeah, so Riho better, Sifi better, but this is like a budget option, epic options to replace void legendaries, right? I think I'm being really dumb and not finding Riho here. Do I have what? Where is she? This is my yeah, so sorry, so her move here, yeah, her move here gives HP burn, and she places more debuffs, which I believe lets the Sand Devil take more damage. So the more debuffs on the Sand Devil, the more damage he takes as well. So, but yeah. Anyways, guys, hopefully that was helpful for you guys. Let me know in the comments below if this video helped you out. Hopefully it did. Anyways, guys, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you guys in the next video.